Good morning, Ed Murphy here from GreenTechHQ, Ireland's first and only sustainable innovation hub. I'm joined here this morning by John Foley of Lifesize Plans. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Ed, and thanks for having us here. It's a pleasure to be down in Enniscorthy on a bank holiday weekend.
Good. Well, look, you're welcome. John is from Marshallstown, Enniscorthy, and he's a great story to tell and a great new business that has been set up. So I'm really interested and curious to know more about it, and I'd like to share it with our viewers. But look at John. Tell me a little bit about you first and your background, and then we'll get into why you did what you did.
Absolutely. So I'm originally from Marshallstown in Enniscorthy, and I always had a passion for construction, for business and for people. And when I graduated from the CBS in Enniscorthy here, I went down to what is now the Southeast Technical University and proceeded with studying in architectural technology. So I've always had a passion for design, for architecture, and for creating something out of nothing. So I graduated from WIT in 2008, and obviously at that time, Ireland wasn't exactly booming in terms of construction and architecture. So I did what many people do. I travelled over to the UK and spent 10 years over there working with an Irish-originated company called Lang O'Rourke, which was started and ran by Ray and Des O'Rourke. So I basically learned my craft over there, working with Lang O'Rourke, working on sites, delivering on the designs that were created by architects. So that was a very interesting journey. And over the course of time there, I worked on various infrastructure projects like Crossrail, which is the new underground tunnel line, which runs from east to west of London. In addition to working in Steatley, which is a wing of the business which delivers off-site manufactured structures. So hugely involved in modern methods of construction. Yeah. So spent a number of years there. And then in 2018, my wife and I relocated back to Ireland. So we bought in Dublin, just on the Cabra Road coming into Dublin. And I think it's safe to say ever since we came home, we always had an itch to do something new. I've pitched many ideas to her, none of which got battered, but the one that we are actively operating now has been definitely well received from her, to the point where she's stepped away from her role.
And she's joined you.
She's joined us in the business. So
wow.
Yeah. So no, it's been really interesting. So
So tell me, what's the origin of Lifesize Plans then, and you getting that going in Ireland? First, we might get into what it is and how it is, but how did you pick it up as an idea and get it started? So
the idea came about, like most ideas, with a problem. So my wife Emma and I, we were looking at extending our own home. And Emma, I would always kind of reference her as the ideal client, who finds it very difficult to visualize. And in the process of looking at doing our extension, we were getting prices which were ranging from 150 to 250,000. And one thing was clear, and that was that if we were going to spend that much money on doing an extension, it was critical that both parties understood exactly what it was we were getting for our money. And the drawings and designs that were presented didn't communicate the vision of what it was that we were getting to Emma. So I went in pursuit of a different way for Emma to understand exactly what it is we're doing and the journey that we're going on to create the home that we want for our future. So in pursuit of that, I managed to find a technology which originated from Australia. And I reached out to them, opened up a dialogue with them, and 1 year later, here we are. We're after bringing the technology to Ireland with exclusivity. We've opened our first location in Dublin, just off the Kylemore Road, off the M50, and we haven't really looked back since.
Good. Well, fantastic. So tell me, what is Lifesize Plans as a technology, but not only as a technology, as a business? What benefits does it bring to, whether it's an architect or a client that's looking at, whether it's building a residential house or a commercial office building or whatever? Tell me what it does that was not available before in Ireland.
So I suppose the best way to explain it is to show you here. So what I've brought along, just to explain it very simply, is 80% of clients that are out in the marketplace, when they go to an architect and they ask for a design to be created, it's created on what's a feasible piece of paper for somebody to carry, to read. Yeah. And normally it's 8:3, and the drawings are presented at a scale of 1:100. Yeah. So to people who go through the process of college and go through the process of design, they find it very easy to pick up this document, to read it, to understand the scale and proportion, and to be able to visualize what it's going to be. Now, the problem is the majority of people who are getting their dream home built or their extension created or their house renovated, they don't have these skills to be able to visualize exactly what the scale and proportion of each of the rooms is going to be. So what Lifesize Plans does is it blows up the scale of this drawing to a 1:1 scale, enabling clients to come to our showroom and physically step into the plans of their home before they build. On average, there's 80% of projects that go over program and over budget, and an awful lot of the reasons for this is because design changes happen during the process of the build. And each design change and amendment to the design has two implications. One is time and one is budget. So what we're looking to do with our clients is to enable them to come in, experience their home or commercial space before they build, and make the changes in an environment that doesn't have these implications. So it's a very early process that gets integrated.
But obviously, to do that, let's say if even you're building a 5,000 square foot office building or a 2,500 square foot house, if you're doing that, to have life-size drawings of that on the floor of a building, the building you have or the showrooms you have must be bloody big to accommodate that.
Yeah, it's huge. So we've done a very detailed review of I suppose, what was the critical requirements for meeting the residential and the commercial market, and we took a lease out on a premises which is 6,000 square foot.
6,000 square
6,000 square foot. And inside of that, with a projection capability of 3,500 square foot. So if you can imagine, the majority of houses that are getting designed at the minute are between kind of 2,500 square foot. You've got obviously a percentage that go beyond that and some that come below it. But for our space, we're able to facilitate in a single projection the floor plan of the house.
The tree now, and that'd be the base floor. But I suppose most houses would have two stories. So you would do the first floor and then the second floor.
So we would always start off with the ground floor, and the technology enables us to basically layer the drawings on top of one another. So once we do the walkthrough of the home, we then proceed upstairs, and then we just change the layers of the plan. So the client is transformed into the first floor of the space. Now, in addition to being able to walk through the plans in a 2D scale, we provide a 3D element to the space by bringing in walls. We've had kitchens made up, which we bring into the space. So if you're someone that's finding it difficult to visualize what your kitchen living room is going to be like, we bring in the kitchens.
So you show an elevation.
So we do wall projections on the elevations of the home, but on the plan itself, to represent what the room's space is going to be like, we'll bring in dining room tables, kitchen islands, all of the sitting room furniture. So it enables clients to get a sense of what their home is going to be like. Does it function in terms of space and flow and function? And if it doesn't, it enables them to make the changes in the showroom.
Yeah, no, fantastic. It really is a fantastic idea. And genuinely, John, I've been in a business where I've probably helped fit out probably 40 or 50 buildings, in be it in snap printing or otherwise. And one of the biggest things I find, I'm reasonable at reading plans at 1 to 100 scale, but so many people, so many intelligent, capable people are really not, they can't have that spatial awareness or that skill. And they really don't get it when you show them on plan. They just don't visualize what that looks like thereafter. And having something like this to do I think it's just a fantastic idea. It really is. So well done on that.
Thank you. And it's very interesting as well to see the user experience when they come in. And like for many people, the design journey can take up to 2 years by the time they get the project through planning and everything else. But it all depends on who comes into the space also.
Yeah.
It's like for like the benefits for people that are building their home, like on average, we see between 10 and 12 fundamental changes per walkthrough.
Yeah.
And we've worked with quantity surveyors to quantify what does that look like in numbers.
Yeah.
And it ranges anywhere between 20 and 30,000. So if you take a house, say, that's getting built, say here in Wexford, say at a value of maybe 350,000, that equates to a percentage of about 5 to 7% of the gross value of the project. So there's huge savings to be had by walking through your home before you build. And Emma uses a great analogy for people when they're in as well. It's like, what's the first thing you do before you buy a new car?
Yeah.
You test drive it.
Yeah.
And a house is a much bigger investment. So what we're trying to do is provide an element of insurance for people to enable them to ensure that their budget is delivered right first time.
Yeah, fantastic. It's fantastic. And tell me, what type of customers, how long about a year or so?
So the idea came about in November 22. The big pursuit then was to secure a premises, which we did successfully. And we opened up to our first customers on the first week of August. So it was fantastic to see customers coming in after the whole journey of shaping and fitting out the premises. But we've got a whole array of customers. So within
residential, commercial, architects, builders.
We see people coming in who are building their own home. We see architects coming in with their clients. We've had landscape architects in, interior designers in. We have had from the commercial sector, we've welcomed the Mater Hospital in, who are looking at walking through and optimizing some of their critical care units. We've had John Sisk, the largest developer in Ireland, in walking through their new headquarters in Dublin to optimize the layout, flow and function of their offices. And I suppose the application all depends on who wants to come in. And like we can project anything at a one-to-one scale. And a good example when you talk about size is, say for some of the commercial spaces that have been in are up to 40, 50,000 square foot, which like when you look at a building of this size, like at any given time, any of the rooms or spaces that you're looking at, they will generally be less than 3,000 square foot. So it enables us to go space by space and bring in the key stakeholders that are, one, going to be using the space, and two, running and optimizing the efficiency of the space to be able to make sure it's right. Another good example was we had a restaurateur in called Paul Foley, and he came in, he brought his head chef in, and they looked at the layout of the commercial kitchen. How was the kitchen and restaurant going to operate, and what efficiencies could they drive in to make sure that the business was going to run as efficiently as possible?
No, it makes total sense, and particularly a restaurant with as kitchens in terms of the amount of people in it, the amount of gear in it, how the flow goes, and whatever.
Absolutely.
It's great idea. Tell me, since starting then, John, the marketing of it, the selling of it, getting clients to use it, how has that gone? You're in very, very early stages, and I look at having been involved in a number of startups. It's a tough, first year is always tough, no matter how the adrenaline is going, everything is going, and you're working your ass off, but sometimes it takes a while to get the message out there and get the customers to trust you and depend on you and use the service. How has it been?
So it's been, I would say, a huge learning curve. So in addition to starting a new business, we're also introducing a new technology that has never existed before. So in addition to promoting our services, we need to promote the technology, the brand, and we need to educate people as to, one, what we do, two, the benefits of what our services bring to the consumer base, and then three, why they should use it. So that journey, what we've primarily focused on at the initial stages is working with clients that are of a residential nature, that are building their own home. We're working very tirelessly with architects, building relationships, meeting architects and educating them about the services that we provide and how it will assist them in reducing their prelims in terms of how they operate, and to streamline their process in terms of the design process with their clients to reach a satisfied end design before submitting for planning. And the feedback has been phenomenal from architects, many of which have really got on board with a number of architects that have integrated us not only into their process but also onto their website as part of a service offering. And for them, we've noticed that it's been a real differentiator for them in the marketplace because it demonstrates a commitment to their clients that will ensure that their clients are fully informed and that they're going to go to the lengths that are required to ensure that the project is delivered right first time.
Yeah, and which I know it sounds great, and I wish you well. And probably it sounds like the right market to go after as many architects as possible, because every architect might have 10 clients, and rather than going after the 10 clients one by one, you go after the architect, and hopefully he will bring you in those clients. So it sounds to make absolute sense. And tell me, any major highs, any major lows, any major wins, any major losses, or how has it been for a young person or a young entrepreneur or a young couple that are entrepreneurs together?
I would say the biggest high has been for us as a couple. We're married coming on 10 years with 2 young children, Jack and Dara, and I suppose the feeling of being able to have something that we're creating from a family perspective has been fantastic. In terms of business highs, it's been phenomenal. Like, Emma's background is in nursing, and like to see her been able to welcome the Mater Hospital in as a client has been phenomenal. To be able to shape the future of the infrastructure of the HSC is fantastic to see as well. So it's really been a huge learning curve, a huge journey, and we're thoroughly enjoying the process, enjoying the challenge, and overcoming the problems as we meet them, and we never know what's kind of around the corner. You know?
Well, look, it's fantastic to see a young Enniscorthy man bringing new technology, bringing a new service, bringing a new business to Ireland. So it's great, and I really, really wish you well with it, John. I think it's fantastic. It's a great idea, and certainly if there's anything we in GreenTechHQ can do to help you bring it to a wider audience, we'd be absolutely delighted to help. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it, and thanks for having us.
Good on you. Cheers.